As I mentioned, Ken Langone is with me today as our special guest host on The Closing Bell. Big developments today in the fiscal cliff. The president now changing who he considers wealthy to those earning $400,000 a year, not $250,000. Speaker Boehner is threatening a plan B to avoid the cliff with a vote on raising rates on only those making more than $1 million. But Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul says entitlement cuts, not tax hikes, should be the focus. Senator Paul, good to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be with you.
Well, I'm here with Ken Langone, co-founder of Home Depot. We want to ask you about where you see things going. But first, give us your take on where these negotiations stand right now. What can you tell us?
Well, I think it's a really bad idea to raise taxes. We have a struggling economy, and I think we'll have the opposite effect. I think the economy could become more sluggish with increasing taxes. You may get less revenue if you raise tax rates. That being said, I don't know where we are. No one's calling me up to give me any information on this. I'll find out. If you find out first, you call me, okay? But we're not really part of the negotiations. That's being done by a couple of people. But I really think in the end, as Republicans, we need to continue standing for what we've always stood for, and that's that you stimulate the economy by leaving more money in the private sector.
Well, what about Boehner's plan B, Ken?
Well, let me go back to what Senator Paul said. Look, in reality, I don't believe people making $1 million in a year are going to do anything different in how they spend money if they pay more taxes. I just don't believe it. And I'm speaking
I think that what you mistake here is that it matters whose money it is. That's sort of a pejorative or a moralistic way of looking at it. The economy doesn't care whether rich people have it, middle-income people, or poor people have it. The economy cares whether the money is in the efficient sector, which is the private sector, or whether you give it to government. So it's inefficient or a bad use of money to take money out of the private sector, no matter whether you're taking it from rich people, middle class, or poor people. It's just a bad idea.
Senator, with all due respect, our taxes are going to go up. They have to go up. Like it or not, what I'm saying is a person making $1 million will pay the higher tax and will still spend as much money. I think the issue
I'll give you examples of where it has made a difference. We went after to punish rich people several years ago with a special tax on yachts. What happened is the rich did change their habits. They went to the Caribbean and bought them from the Bahamas, and the people who lost their jobs are the people making $50,000 a year selling, and making the yachts. If a guy makes $35,000 a year selling Mercedes-Benz and I make $250,000 a year, do you think I change my habit and wait another year to buy another Mercedes? That hurts the guy making $35,000. We're all interconnected. The economy doesn't care whether you're rich or poor. It's just less money in the productive sector.
Senator, I get that. And I think Ken is making the point that he doesn't necessarily expect major behavioral change on the $1 million check.
Of course not.
But let me ask you this. Given the fact that we are 8 days away from the end of the year, there are 8 trading days left till the end of the year until we go over the fiscal cliff. Given the fact that both sides are digging in, the Dems do not want to cut enough on entitlements. The Republicans do not want to raise taxes. Isn't it time for something to give? I mean, seriously.
Well, let's be very clear.
What are you willing to give? What are you willing to give on?
Let's be very clear what the Democrats want to do on entitlements. The president said entitlements are off the table because we don't have enough time to do it. So they're not serious at all about that. I will compromise. I think we can compromise and look at military spending from the Republican side and say not every dollar spent is wise or sacred.
Amen.
I think we can also look at means testing. If the president says the rich are not paying their fair share, I'm all for means testing Social Security and means testing Medicare. But I will tell you that the leading Democrats in the Senate have said Social Security is not broken. They won't look at the age and they won't means test because they think these programs are not broken. That's how far apart we are and why it's trouble to find a compromise, because they don't think entitlements are broken.
Will you go along with the Speaker's plan B, and that is allow the $1 million and lower set to not see any tax increases, and then the others above $1 million will see their taxes raised, and then you'll deal with spending cuts later? This is your party, John Boehner's plan B. Are you going to go along with plan B if that's what it comes to?
If you separate the taxes into two different bills and let the Democrats have a tax increase basically on the upper side, I'll vote no, but they could still get what they want by separating the bill into two pieces. That may happen, but they've already out of hand dismissed the $1 million level. So we have to find a level that they won't dismiss. And I don't know how demanding they are, because if they say 250 and we don't get to 250, then it's the Democrats that are unwilling to get, unless they get everything they want. It seems to me the intransigence is on their side then.
Senator, I happen to think that the real issue is entitlements. What I think